What up, Dynasty players in the house? It's the Dynasty front office, part of the Dynasty War Zone. Shut up, Austin. We're building championships one trade at a time. Please like and subscribe. And if you have a moment, reviews are always appreciated. We like the 5-star kind. I'm sorry, I didn't mean shut up, Austin, but please, Austin. I forgot that triggers you. And I'm your host, Jesse Schneeman. I'm joined by the auspicious Austin Bell, as you've already heard.
What's up, dog?
How are you tonight?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm ready. It's a crunch week. We were talking before the show. This is a wild week for me. I have like 10 matchups that'll either decide a bye or playoffs or not playoffs. So it's a pretty crazy week, and I feel like all my rosters feel just a little bit worse this week. So maybe that's just me stressing, or maybe it's the buys, or maybe my teams just suck. I guess we'll find out after this week.
Yeah, right on. I feel like a lot of people are in that position right now. So that's the magic of the week before the playoffs.
That's right.
So much fun. All right. And seated to my left, my main man, Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm good, man. How are you guys doing? I'm rhetorical question, but yeah.
That's why I didn't answer. I knew you didn't mean it.
Not at all. But yeah, no, I'm doing great, man. Happy to be here. Excited to talk football. I'm in the same boat as you, man, Austin. We're just skating by in life, trying to make the playoffs, trying to figure it out last minute, and probably won't get there.
In some leagues. I feel like we all have some leagues where we're just in control, right?
Yeah.
And know we're set up.
Yeah.
Know we're set up.
But we're not worried about those, right? We're only worried about
this
the
week.
ones
It doesn't matter in those.
Yeah.
No, but in 2 weeks, I will be very worried about those.
Yes. Yeah, I've got the bye locked up in 5 leagues, I think.
Nice.
So
yeah, that feels good.
It does.
Mine's around that same number, around 5.
But I've also got, it's at least 3 or 4 where I'm playing for the bye against the person I'm playing for the bye. Like it's of course, it's like somebody set it up. The NFL script just had to do it to me.
It's beautiful.
I've got one league where 4 people are playing for a bye this week.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
One league I commish, 3rd through 9th can make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It is sick. Luckily, I'm 3rd, so my luck, I'm going to be 9th. But we'll see how it goes.
And it's such a hairy week with the buys.
Yep, and I lost CMC and T-Law / I guess I'm going to play Mac Jones this week.
Why didn't they put all these buys last week?
I know. Thank you. Why?
I don't understand the way they schedule
I don't either. I'm not sure why they had no buys week 3. Oh, Thanksgiving. Never mind. Yeah, I do.
Because they had to have all those Thursday games.
Yep.
And the Friday game. So they had to have enough Sunday games.
That's right.
Jerks.
They don't care about us fantasy guys. They should, though.
They should. I mean, they're partnered with Las Vegas at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Let's bounce right into our trade banger of the week. Since we're on fire with our opening, it was just smooth as silk. Let's pop right into segment 1. Austin, what do you got for us this week?
Let's do it. We got at least one hot name for the week in this trade. Isaac Guerendo and Tyrone Tracy for Brandon Ayuk and a 25-second. I'm going to need the context from somebody because I believe it's a 12-team league, but I'm not positive of that. So I'm going to let one of y'all fill that in.
Yeah, 12-team. There's no tight ends, but it is 0.75. And it is a late second.
Okay. I'll pretty clearly take Ayuk.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty clearly. I like Tracy the rest of the season a lot, to be honest. But there's just too many question marks for me to feel really confident for him next year. And I know our fellow Giant's going to tell me I'm an idiot and he's going to be the foundation and this and that. But before he does, I'm going to be the more rational fantasy person and say that there's just a lot of question marks in that organization, much less at the RB position for the future. So I'll take the guy that I know is good, who should be healthy going into next year, and get the pick with it for 2 guys that I don't know what their future holds.
But you're not bringing up what they're going to do for you this year. Like Guerendo and Tracy could be league winners at this point.
Or Guerendo could be nothing. I mean, They've brought in another running back. They've activated another running back. We have no idea in a week or two what that backfield is going to look like.
What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think Austin's wrong. As he guessed. No, I mean it's exactly for the reason you said though. I just think it's if you watch the Giants, Tracy's been the best player on the team this season.
Yeah,
absolutely been the best player on the team.
Well,
and so the Giants
Neighbors was really good,
but he not consistent this season.
Yeah,
early on he was really, really good. He's had an incredibly impressive rookie season, but he's so up and down. Tracy, every game other than the two big fumbles in the end zone, he's been really good. Neighbors has just been targeted a lot, which is the difference. Tracy's actually looked really, really good. Neighbors just had a lot of splashes, and I think Neighbors is by far a better player. Don't get me wrong. I think Neighbors is the most talented player on the offense, but just from a consistency standpoint, Tracy, in the time that he's played, has been the best player on the team, and the team has so many holes everywhere else. It's so bad. I literally think him and Neighbors are the only two fixtures in the offense, period. Other than Andrew Thomas, but we're not talking offensive lineman, right? So it's one of those things where if I have Tracy, I feel great about it because they just can't afford to go out and get another running back when they have a guy that's producing the way he is. They can't afford it. So, and they're not keeping Devin Singletary. Eric Gray is not a good player, to put it bluntly. And yeah, I mean, that's just the end. He's one of two players on the offense that deserves to be starting right now. So,
all right.
And then as far as Garendra, I hate saying his name.
Yeah, me too.
Isaac goes, man, he's tough because you don't want to be a week too late on him, right? If you're really needing a push for the playoffs, I think whichever running back gets the bulk of the work in that offense is going to be league winner territory. If there is going to be one, right? And by the time you find out if he's not on your roster, it's too late. Like you can't, you're not getting him at that point.
I mean, he's already costing in this point right here, this trade. He's costing now before we've even seen if he's going to get the workload. It's not like he's a free player in this trade.
Yeah, no, he's not a free player, but when you're talking about this late in the playoff push and going into the playoffs, right? When he does become a league winner, he's ungettable. Like you're not going to be able to get him. It goes from, a cost to you're not getting him unless he's happens to be on a team that waited too long to trade him.
I'd say that's worth a second to find out.
I don't agree with that personally. Now, there's always context to this because if you just lost CMC, then I'm going to make this trade all day.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's likely who's making that trade, though.
Yeah,
that's what nobody's told me that. Y'all are in the league, not me. So I mean, that would have been a lot different. But just looking at the value,
even if you just need two players to score you points,
I wouldn't give the second with it, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I mean, if it's a late second, then I'm fine with it. But I mean, Ayuk's just been.
I mean, really, like Jalen Tolbert really swings the needle. Like that's my generic idea of a late second is like Jalen Tolbert.
That's just you picked the wrong player.
All right, give me a hit that you love.
I mean, there's a numerous ones.
I mean, you picked the wrong player like 70% of the time in a late.
Course.
Yeah.
In a late second.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But my point is by April, that late second's gold. People love it. So that you're not just throwing it away, sure, because if you make the selection, yes, you could throw it away just as easy. But by April, that second could be the second most valuable piece in this trade.
I don't know. No, that's absolutely not true.
I'm sorry,
that's
but I don't
absolutely
think
not
the Giants. True. So I'm looking at Singletary's contract. If they cut him, he's 7.5 on the cap the next 2 years.
It's not about cutting him. He's not even close to being as good as Tracy. Like it's not even a competition.
So you're saying he's staying there.
Singletary was booed on the field when they kept running him. Like it's
I'm
it's
not
apparent to
telling you he's
everybody.
good or anything. My worry is that Tracy is not the main guy next year. That is a
He is
huge
the main
question mark.
guy. That's
Okay.
that's like, I mean, it's like saying any, like you with you're saying Ayuk, right? Ayuk's had a bad year. Is Ayuk just magically going to get benched? If he's the much more talented player, you go with the much more talented player.
Well,
Tracy is a cheap player who is much more talented than any other back on the team. They're not going and getting another running back.
I don't agree, but I won't argue anymore. So the point, I don't feel like arguing anymore, but I don't agree. I think we've seen this time and time and time and time again. The NFL teams say, "This is our 5th round pick. We need a better guy." Literally, like so many extensions of this happening.
I would put money on it. I'm like
Well, you have a lot more
100%
than
sure
me,
on
so
this
I'm
one.
not going to make that bet. But that's the end of that.
So let's talk about Garendo a little bit. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he has standalone value next year. So
Sure.
there's a lot of discourse. I always get those two mixed up about CMC just being toast. And I've heard, I mean, it's maybe a little hot takey. People want to get out in front of it, but I think that conversation is going to get louder and louder the longer the offseason goes. If they're right, who's to say that Garendo that they took in the 3rd round isn't the next guy?
Yeah.
You know, I thought Jordan Mason did a good job, but he's not anything special. He just can run the system. He's physically nothing amazing. He's a good power back, like good, honest, strong back, but like he doesn't have some electric burst or whatever. And if Garendo really takes off in this offense, a second might be cheap for him.
Yeah. We'll see.
Nah,
I mean,
I wouldn't bank on it.
I don't. Yeah.
I wouldn't bank on it either, but if you think about him as being the guy they drafted to be CMC's backup going into next year, he's still CMC's backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they draft one of the 20 running backs we like next year in the 3rd round again.
It could happen. They seem to take a back every year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm fine taking the dart throw for the playoffs because he could absolutely be a league winner. Like, that's for sure. But they also have 2 more guys just brought in that are active on the backfield now.
Let's talk about CMC and whether he's done or not.
I don't think he's done, but nobody wants him. That's for sure.
I kind of want him. I mean, I don't want him right now because, like, not going to help me, right? But in the offseason, I'm going to want him.
Yeah.
I mean, now's probably the time to buy him if you want him.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I think this echo of him just being done could get louder and louder this offseason. Let's say we're a month from now. Playoffs are over. You don't have to set a lineup. Would you rather have, I mean, all right, these were posted in the Patreon chat. Told them we'd go over them. First one's kind of no brainer to me, but CMC or Chuba?
CMC.
Chet, you don't have to answer.
Yeah.
B-Rob.
CMC.
Yeah.
Najee.
CMC.
Tyrone Tracy.
CMC.
Connor.
CMC.
CMC plus a second or Josh Jacobs.
CMC. If you're telling me in a month, if I have to win a championship.
In a month, yeah. No.
Yeah, CMC.
I think I might take Josh there. Josh in the second. Oh, no, you're getting CMC in the second?
Yeah,
CMC
in the second.
Oh, yeah, I'll die. CMC in the second or James Cook?
CMC. That one's way more interesting. Way more.
Depends on the roster construction, but
for the most part, I'm taking the CMC side.
Yeah.
All right.
CMC.
CMC for Judy and a third. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. CMC.
CMC or Darnold?
CMC.
CMC for me. Kittle, he says no tight end premium, but let's say it's 0.5, the Lord scoring, as
Okay.
Memphis calls it.
Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle.
Interesting. CMC for me. All right. That was mostly CMC for all of those. I was trying to argue that I think his price could get down to like 2 seconds or a high second this offseason. What do you think about that?
People fall in love in rookie drafts. I'll never count anything out, but
That's what I'm saying.
it'll depend on. I mean, all it takes is one hype video of him doing some crazy cuts and this and that, and then people are like, "Oh wait, he is good. I forgot," and you're not getting him for a second ever.
If you want him, you got to buy him now. He's.
Yeah,
I don't think his price is going to go lower in the offseason. I think it's going to go up in the offseason.
Yeah, I've sent trades that I shouldn't have sent and got declined, trying to just win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants them. So even for me, like who I really do my best not to send losing offers because I'm a value guy. But sometimes you got to win. And like I sent Henry and Hubbard for CMC, and it felt disgusting. Like absolutely disgusting. Because both of those guys could be nothing. Like I wouldn't be shocked if Henry's like, "Hey, I'm done." Even as good as he's been. I mean, the dude has like 1 million touches. So
I'd be curious what that owner traded those two players for, though. Like, if he's traded those two players, he might want picks back. He might not want to.
Yeah. I mean, he's in 11th place. So that's a lot of what it is like you go to the rebuilders and they don't want to take CMC because he's old.
Right.
And obviously no contender wants him because they want the points.
Right.
So it's an interesting mess. He's a tough name right now. I have one share that I bought, of course, like 3 weeks ago. So I guess I'm just going to let him sit on my IR.
I paid a first and 2 seconds in like September in a 1 QB league. That's the only one I've picked up. The other one I've had forever, and I'm content to just keep him. I have a deep enough team that it just doesn't matter.
Did we say for that trade what side we lean on?
I think so. Jesse didn't, but I think
I didn't because I picked the Ayuk side.
Oh, okay. Well, you started off by saying Austin was wrong.
That's what I thought.
No, he's wrong about Tracy.
Okay.
Yeah, about a late second being worth more than Tracy in the offseason.
Well, that was the very end. That was after we argued for.
No, that's what kicked it off. It was when you said when you were talking about the about Tracy or about the trade and Tracy's value. That's what I was saying about him being replaced. And then you mentioned the second being that's what I was talking about.
It was
as far as the trade, I would go Ayuk for sure, just because he's the most talented player that you're in the trade. But
I have a hard time picking a side in this trade because if I'm in the playoffs, I'm taking the Garendo and Tracy side. I think it's a fair trade. If I'm not in the playoffs, I'm taking the Ayuk side.
Yeah. I mean, I think either way, I think you're getting a starting player on your roster on either side for next season, because I think Tracy is going to be in the high RB2, low RB1 category, me personally. I think Ayuk is a wide receiver 1 and when he's at his best. And so that just sets it over the top for me.
I don't think he's just going to pick up the season at his best next year, though, either. I think you're
I don't either. I don't either, but he's not a super old player.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
No, he's 27. 26. 26 in his prime.
26.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's our trade banger of the week. You guys got your letters ready?
Yes, sir. I wrote it handwritten to Santa.
Nice. All right, y'all. So we wrote our letters to Santa this week. And basically, kids, earmuffs, if there's any kids out there listening, adults.
Do not say that. Do not.
Say what?
Not. Say what you're about to say. Do not say that. No, sir.
All right. So
I will sabotage this. Do not say that.
Be careful, Jesse.
Absolutely not.
Wow. Okay. We'll just put it this way: Santa's got a budget this year, so we've got to keep everything under control. So we have asked Santa for a player at each position at their current cost that is the most likely to win us a championship this year.
Austin, you just saved some parents some awkward
Yes,
conversation.
sir. I don't have a kid, but I wouldn't. No, thank you.
I said earmuffs.
No, that don't work good enough. What are they driving? You can't earmuff it. I got your
All right.
parents.
All right, so we're just going to go over who we asked for and what their cost is, and decide if Santa's really going to bring them to us and if it's really going to win us a championship. Are we going to be like out there on the playground with our new Reeboks on? Or are we going to be
Man, you're old.
out
And for
there
the
on
people
our,
that can't see, he does have gray hair. In case you honestly might even be a little white.
out
case
there
y'all
on the
wondering.
playground with our new Keds instead? But
And your 8-track.
Yeah.
man, 8-tracks were
Walkman.
cool. Y'all don't know how good 8-tracks were at the time. All right.
I don't.
I don't think kids know what CD players are anymore, so I think
That's a good point.
8-tracks were good because you could switch immediately to the track, right? They were replaced by
I can do that on my phone.
but they were replaced by cassette tapes where you had to like fast forward and
Oh,
rewind.
okay. Okay.
You
Yeah.
know,
I missed that. I missed both of those stages.
Yeah.
Like Walkman was the first thing I had.
I had a Walkman, Sony Sport.
I don't remember what
Nice.
mine was. It just skipped all the time. I remember that.
Yeah.
All right, Chad, what quarterback did you ask Santa for?
Oh, can we start at wide receiver? 'Cause
Sure,
I'm still debating my quarterback.
but you already sent your letter.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to get it in time.
Yeah, well, I've got a direct line over to the North
To
Pole.
the North Pole
Yeah,
from
just gonna
Texas.
call it in late. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to
Okay.
text you my list then.
All right, you got a wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm going with Terry McLaurin.
How dare you?
Did we all have the same guy?
Yeah, that's why I did multiple.
You got to be kidding me. We
All right,
all asked Santa for Terry McLaurin.
I'll go with
I
my
love
second
it.
guy.
No, go with that one. Go with that one. I got a second guy.
Okay. So
All right,
yeah,
you
I
make
got
your argument, Chad.
I got Terry McLaurin. I mean, God, does he look good this year?
Yeah,
That's it.
God, does he look good this year?
God, does he look
Oh,
good, man?
man.
Every time I'm watching Terry McLaurin, I'm like, oh man, this guy is really good at football, isn't he? I forgot that for a while. Some quarterbacks made me forget that. Some commanders and some ownership and some just bad football franchises made me forget that. Yeah, he's pretty awesome, dude. He's a top tier wide receiver when he's at his top. And
Finally got his quarterback.
He's getting that age where if he's not on a team that is winning a championship, that thinks they're winning a championship this season or thinks they could win a championship this season, you may be able to convince somebody to part with him. So if that's a guy I don't have and he's not on a team that's looking to win it all this year, then I'm trying to see what I can get for him. Or
I'm
what
one of
I
those
can get
people
him for.
in our listener league. I just traded him last week.
Really?
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. What did you
25
get for him?
first.
25 first.
Yep.
Contenders 25 first.
Yep. That's the price
Yeah.
point for me. I think that's what it should
I
cost.
think that's fair.
If you can get anything more, that's awesome. I tried to squeeze Troy Franklin out of it as well, but he said no. So I was cool with just the 25 first.
Wide receiver 4 on the season overall.
3, isn't it? Isn't he 3?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I
Sorry, I
think it's
looked
4.
before I had him too, so I was checking. I looked, he was like he was 3. But either way, so one question.
He's at 4 for mine, but it's only like 0.2 points
Okay.
back from Jefferson. So
Okay.
And he's 29. So I guess that's why there's no.
yeah, that's why.
on there
Yeah,
for-
that's the only reason why he'd even be in this category. Because if he was any younger than 29, he'd be unobtainable at this point.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. He'd be Garrett. Like if he was Garrett Wilson's age, he'd be way more valuable.
Oh God,
Yeah.
So Jesse, before the pod, I asked you about Philadelphia's defense. So
Yeah.
they play Week 16. Does that scare you, or are you just rolling it out and praying that he gets one of those Terry McLaurin plays?
It does. We shut him down just like a couple weeks ago. It does scare me. Yeah, it's a tough matchup.
Now he has 2 great ones. Otherwise, New Orleans and Atlanta. Love the other 2, but that semifinal matchup is a little terrifying. Watching Philly this past month.
Bye week
That-
won't save us on that one.
If you're and just to get your guys' opinion on this, if you're buying a player though at this point, aren't you going into saying like 2 out of 3 weeks being a great matchup is like fantastic?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
absolutely. 1
Yeah.
week won't scare me away because
Agreed.
all it takes is one play to make that not even matter,
Yeah. And
right?
he's
All it
good at
takes
that.
is one touchdown.
He's
You know, it's
definitely
not-
good at that too.
I mean, Philly's defense is good, but they're more of a bend but don't break. It's not like you can't score on them.
That's fair. That was my one hiccup for him for
Mhm.
this remainder of the season. I feel great about him next year, to be honest. On my
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
borderline playoff teams, I'm not moving them. Even if I
actually-
don't make the playoffs,
I
I'm gonna
actually
hold-
think it would be a lot better for him if they brought in like
yeah,
some
they
other
need another.
weapons.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
way too much attention, paid to him.
Mhm.
Which they have the money, so it should work.
They have money. They have the draft capital. Yeah,
Yep.
they're in really good shape. They have to do something about that offensive line.
Agreed.
Jaden Daniels hides a lot of their problems.
Agreed.
All right, that's wide receiver. That was quick. Thanks, Santa.
I have one.
Oh, okay, go for it.
My backup was Cortland Sutton.
That was my backup.
Um,
I
I'm
thought
willing to pay 2 seconds, a 25 and 26 second.
that's the most he's
Um,
been worth in a long time.
I don't want to pay that. I would love to at least get 1/3 back to make me feel a little bit better. But that's assuming I'm buying this as a top 3 team. I'm totally fine paying that, and he's locked there for another year. Looking at his contract, so I'm good for paying that and living with losing those late seconds that y'all both said have terrible hit rates, and I'm gonna take Jalen Tolbert. So
I mean, he fits perfectly.
Yeah.
He runs a good slant, runs a good in. He's not exactly the new slant boy or anything, but he fits that system, and Bo Nix trusts him, and he throws him up to him. So
he's been really good. I'll shout out Dallas in our league, and he sent me an offer about the first week Sutton popped off, and I didn't take it. I changed it, and we got a deal done. And after that, I just kept looking and like, man, I'd probably be the damn 1 seed if I'd have taken it. As good as Sutton's been, I've been missing one piece, and he was there. I mean, he's been automatic basically every week.
Yeah.
So
He tried to trade me Sutton too, and try to get Keon Coleman from me, and you can guess how that went. But
he tried to
but
get
yeah.
Addison from me, and that also didn't go well for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Addison to me is worth well more than
Agreed.
Cortland
Both
Sutton.
of
Yeah,
those guys are
yeah.
worth more, but Coleman's at least a little more thought about
Yeah.
for me.
I mean, I think Coleman is worth more than he was in a rookie draft at this point. He's shown a connection with Josh Allen. I wouldn't say he's worth a first, but like 201 or 202 probably.
Cool. Next position.
Which is where
Let's do it.
Chad was drafting him anyway. So
Yeah,
it's where Chad had him. He's
That's
where
right.
he is right now.
So I was right. That's all
Of
I heard.
That's not. It's funny how you take that out of that because that's not what I meant. All right, let's move on to quarterback. We got to do quarterback. Austin,
do it.
you want to go? Or
I
you want me
do.
to go? Okay.
So I'm asking Santa for a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm really willing to sacrifice this year for my gift. So I'm gonna go after Jalen Hurts. And honestly,
Is he bringing you a Ferrari too, or
Yeah, your parents are rich. I mean, Santa's rich with you.
well, I had to do a lot of chores this year. Like it's not gonna be cheap, and I know that.
A lot of chores like get a full-time job and help support the family.
Yeah. Like I'm paying rent, and they didn't know
Okay.
that. Like,
Right on.
I'm willing to pay up, to be honest. So outside of about the top 5 guys in my startup value, I don't really care after that. Like there's guys I like and guys I don't, of course. But for my playoff push especially, and being Hurts is young, this is way more than just the playoffs. I'm willing to pay my 25 first and Stroud, Herbert, Nix, Purdy, any of those guys. to go get Hurts. I feel like that should be fair compensation to somebody who has him. And obviously, any of the lower guys, T-Law, Golf, Dak, all those guys as well. But I want a game changer at the position, and I feel like he can be that. And his schedule, watching Pittsburgh the past 2 weeks, I would have said his schedule week 15 scares me, but they should be able to put up points. And then it's Washington and Dallas. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, keep in mind when you're looking at matchups too that a lot of these elite defenses are really injured right now. Like Detroit. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid of Detroit as a matchup, and just keep in mind that like a lot of these defenses are missing some of the name brand players. Like the Dexter Lawrence is out for the year. So the Giants aren't nearly what they were beginning of the year. So I think the Steelers have some injuries too, and they haven't been as strong. So just keep that in mind is all. Yeah, I would give all of those players in a first for Hurts.
Do I think, am I too cheap? And I felt like Stroud and Herbert in a first were pretty pricey, to be honest. But
I think Stroud in a first might get it done, depending on the first.
Well, I'm assuming it's my playoff first. That's kind of how I want to. I don't like assuming I have an early first and this and that. Like I don't like doing that. So
you might have to throw in a player.
Oh wow!
You might have to throw in somebody like Ricky Pearsall.
Okay, that's fine.
Generic second rounder or a second round pick.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Chad, I'm offering you Stroud or Herbert, your pick, and a first for Hurts. You're out of the playoffs.
You're offering me Stroud and what?
Contenders first. Or
you
Herbert.
Have Hurts. Yeah, whichever one you like better.
Yeah, I'd take the. Yeah.
My price point.
It depends.
It depends.
It depends on how I saw the next season going. if I really needed to make some risks on that roster, then yeah, I'd go ahead and trade Hurts for that.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like he's a game changer. I want a game changer.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Chad, you got your QB?
Yeah, because I like fun. So I'm gonna go with Jameis Winston.
Nice. I was hoping somebody picked him. It's a shame Flacco's not around for us to.
Yeah, I mean, I love the matchups. I think they're, he's got KC in there, he's got Cincinnati in there. Could be really high scoring games plus weak defenses. Gosh, that Cincinnati game.
And he's got
I mean, quarterbacks have scored like pretty nice against KC's defense.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things like they're both in the lower tier of what quarterbacks have been able to do against them. And Cincinnati, I mean, that's just kind of the dream matchup for me.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that being
you see what he did
16.
against Denver. Denver's been great, and he freaking lit that secondary up.
Even New Orleans has been a pretty decent defense, and he played really, really well against them as well. So he's really streaky, but I mean, for what you're going to have to pay for him, it's not Jalen Hurts, right? Like what are you guys thinking you're going to have to give up to get Winston at this point?
I put him on the block today for a second.
Yeah.
That's all I said. Just give me a second.
What league was that?
Nobody sent it. P2.
Nah, I don't need him. That's also like the shitty QB scoring.
You say that every time, except for if you look at their scoring, they're still like 15 of the top 24 players in the league.
Okay, but it's the perception. So
yeah. I think he's a starting quarterback next year. So I think it's a decent investment if you think you're going to be like, let's say you have an injured quarterback this year. You need a guy for some safety reasons in the playoffs. Maybe he's your second quarterback going into the playoffs if you had Trevor or something. All right. And I mean, next season, I think he's a guy that could definitely find a starting job.
That's weird to me, though. I don't know that he wants a starting job. He was a free agent this offseason, and he signed on to be Deshaun's backup.
I mean, he might be the starter in Cleveland next year.
He might be.
Yeah.
You can't discount that. They said
Yeah.
they wanted to add competition. He probably isn't, because they're going to see up close the real Jamie's experience, and it's not good. 400 yards and the pick to lose the game. It was a little Bortles-ish. I mean, he's a better player than Bortles, but
He's Jameis, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 500 yards. Like,
yeah.
Sign me up.
MVP
2 pick sixes, not just interceptions.
Yeah,
MVP
well,
to lose the game
it's
in the end zone.
wide
Yeah, I
receivers
saw
got to make a
I
tackle.
saw he had like 740 yards if you account the pick sixes.
No, but you can't really. So like the pick sixes, I get it, they're pick sixes, but Elijah Moore, right? Like just forgetting to tackle.
Yeah, he just stopped and he
mean,
thought the play was over.
The throw
That was
terrible.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's the difference between an interception and pick six. I mean, is a wide
sure.
receiver just forgetting that he has to tackle the ball carrier.
Yeah, you could see him go, "Oh shit," and run after. You could see the "oh shit" moment in Elijah Moore's.
I think he thought he touched him. That's what it looked like to me. But the throw was so bad. I'm not blaming anybody else but Jameis. So
Right on. All right, yeah. I mean, shit. Yeah, let's get some Jameis. That's like
I have him in a lot of places as QB2. It's
like what's the most fun $5 toy that you've ever gotten?
Yeah, right.
I know what Jameis Winston is. For me, it was actually a free toy that my mom got for opening a bank account. She got it was like a little Coleco handheld baseball game, digital baseball game. I probably played that for thousands of hours as a kid, and it was free.
that was before TV.
Uh-huh. All
Who's
right,
your quarterback?
my quarterback. I'm asking Santa to please bring me my wonderful baby boy, my son, Tua
Lord.
Tagliavoa. We haven't
The
talked about his
nepotism on this show is just ridiculous.
The dude is hot as hell, man. The last 3 weeks since he's gotten his feet back under him, he is lighting it up. So this is I'm pretty sure this is a standard scoring league. It's like 28 points, 38 points, 28 points the last 3 weeks. It's just going to continue. He has the Jets, Houston, San Fran, Cleveland, all banged up defenses, all defenses that have gotten scored on recently. Yeah, give me Tua. What would you pay for him? Chad. I don't know.
You didn't let me do it.
I mean, Tua's tough. Tua's really tough. I probably wouldn't pay for him, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But if I had him, I wouldn't want to trade him for less than 2 firsts.
Yeah,
sure.
That's kind of what I figured.
And not like saying they have to be like mid or early first, just 2 firsts in general. Like I would want 2 firsts out of it.
I'll put it this way: you guys think Shitter Sanders and Cam Ward are going to go in the top 10 of the NFL draft?
Both, I think.
Yeah,
probably.
So, which means they're both going to be top 5 picks in our rookie drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather have one of those guys or Tua?
That's only 1 first, but depends on where they go. I may take Cam Ward.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want 2 firsts, and one of them has to be kind of high. And I don't want Cam Ward over Tua. I want the guy that I know is good right now.
The teams that need quarterbacks this year, though, are oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Giants. Do you want a quarterback on the Giants, on the Raiders, on the Titans? Like, I don't.
No.
Right.
I don't want any of these quarterbacks to begin with. So
yeah,
that makes it even easier.
That's true.
Which could make them slip down, to be honest.
Yeah.
We could see a lot of this, like 106 to 110. These quarterbacks come off, especially if the skill guys
could happen.
Test well. If it could be a lot of hype, we could be seeing these quarterbacks not go till the back half, which could make them very interesting values. But that's a different discussion, different day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I watched Luther Burden today, and I'm in love. That dude is
Third best wide receiver in the draft.
Third.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like Tet above him? Is that one of them?
Mm-hmm.
And who's the other one?
Another day.
Okay. Bastard. I only know two. I've only watched those two. All right. I'll know them all by the time comes. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of going for it too. And, for what I can get over Tua, I'd rather pay if you offered a mid and late first for Tua, I think almost everybody on the planet is taking that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Minus Dolphins fans or Jesse.
Yeah. So our boy Nath wouldn't take it, but right, I would.
He's definitely going to message me and
Probably
talk shit about me talking shit about Tua, but
yeah,
that's okay.
All right, let's move on to running back.
I will just say, like, it's hard to deny Tua's value to that team now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's the injuries. I have to
Yeah,
I have to
that's
acknowledge
exactly what it is.
that the fencing is really bad, and if it happens again, I don't see how you can justify like shortening a man's life over a game.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to take that chance, in the hopes that I'm gonna win a championship with my son. And it would just be so great to like hold him up on my shoulders as he's holding the trophy above his shoulders.
You can both go to Disneyland together.
Yeah, and drink lots of Budweiser with Peyton Manning. All right. Chad, who's your running back?
This one was really, really tough. But I'm actually going to go with the guy that I traded away in a team in a league pretty recently here. But I'm going to go James Conner.
Good pick. Discount pick.
I like his schedule. That's a big part of it.
Trailer park pick. But
He's got Seattle this week, New England the week after, Carolina the week after. Yeah, I really like it. I really, really like it. And Connor's one of those guys, even when he's not having a good game, which Seattle's going to be tough, right? That's the one. But if you're a high seed and you're playing a weak team in the playoffs, you can afford that. Number one. Number two, Connor's that guy that he's always liable to get a touchdown. Like, even when he's having a poor game, he could just pop off a random touchdown at any point. They get a lot of goal line plays. They run him on the goal line now pretty often. So I like it. Yeah. I think he's got longevity too, like as far as going into next season. Maybe longevity is not the right word, but you're probably going to get another year out of him. I don't think that as much as we can will Trey Benson into a starting gig, I don't think it's magically just going to come out of nowhere and he's going to be RB1 next year. And,
I've been trying to trade him for 2 seconds. I mean, it's a specific league in a specific market and nobody will jump. Austin's one of those people. So defend yourself, Austin. Why won't you give 2 seconds for a league winner?
Because I don't know if he's a league winner and I don't need him. I'm starting Bijan and like 3 other better running backs.
Well, Chad just said he was the league winner.
He didn't say he was worth 2 seconds.
No, I traded him away for a second.
Yeah, I think
1 second.
I think he's worth a second.
Mm-hmm.
A second, a late second.
Yep.
He's gonna be. They just re-signed him.
Well, you should keep him then.
That's
if he's that good, you should.
Sounds like you love him.
I do. I do. He's guaranteed points, man. It's just that's how it feels with him. He may not have like the high ceiling of Bijan, but he's got as good a floor as any running back in football.
So I actually love the second price. But looking at his stats, he's only had 2 touchdowns since week 5. It's pretty crazy for like James Conner does feel like an automatic touchdown machine.
Yeah.
And I'm looking and it's like, man, he only got 5 on the season and three of them happened the first 4 weeks.
He has, I mean,
yeah, that is crazy.
It is. He gets all the volume though.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
they don't run anybody else.
I was looking because I was thinking about buying in the league, and I'm like, well, the touchdowns aren't as safe as I thought they were. But he is getting some good pass, 3 or more targets a lot. So that at least helps
Yeah.
something.
And his schedule's been pretty kind of rough. Like it
Yeah.
hasn't been great since the beginning of the season. He's actually going into a stretch that's very similar to what it was in the beginning when he was really going off. So I like it. I mean, I really that New England and Carolina back to back, I think is going to be a really, really nice.
Yeah, I mean, and the Rams, he ran for
yeah,
21 for 122 and a touchdown the
Yeah.
first time they played. So
Saquon ran
And
for
that-
200
that's-
yards on them. They,
yeah,
they,
yeah.
I mean,
They
that's
give it
the
up.
three. That's his 3 playoff matchups. That is beautiful, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. I mean,
Yeah.
he may win you your semifinal week against Carolina. Like
He's
for
out
real.
there. The other two guys in first and second, I won't name any names, Casper. But they're all, I don't want to trade any picks. Storm Blast. I don't want to trade by 27 picks. So annoying. You want to win, or do you want to keep your cute little picks and make your roster look pretty, or do you want to win? It was the whole point of our court episode.
You know,
And
I
won, by
threw
the way.
that offer out, that Connor offer for a second out to everybody in the league that was, in the playoff mix. Only one person took it.
That's crazy. I would take that on a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and
And
start offering seconds for
multiple people mentioned they were like, yeah, fair trade, just not really what I'm looking to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Well,
Okay.
well,
If you
this
don't
other
want
guy will
15
win it
points
then.
a week.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, I had another underappreciated player. He's going off tonight. That would be Thursday night. Josh Jacobs, man. Please, Santa, bring me Josh Jacobs. RB7 on the season. He is an animal. He's gotten better as the season's gone along. He's in a boat of an offense that is going to carry him, even though he carries them. He's what makes that offense consistent. He's been so good. I don't know what it is. He's 26 years old. He's in his prime. I guess it's the lack of like breakaway speed and like elite receiving ability. The guy is just a good ass running back, man. Like beat you in so many ways with burst, acceleration, power, cutting. Like he's just such a good running back and puts up numbers over 1,000 yards already this season. I mean, what is it about Josh Jacobs that's not worth 106? Would you rather have Omarion Hampton or Josh Jacobs or Judkins?
His last
Maybe-
7 games
maybe
have been
Hampton.
wild. I haven't
Yes.
even like.
He is on fire. I don't even care who he plays. That
Yeah.
offense is going to move the ball, and he's going to be at the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, but your statements are totally fair. I'm not going to dispute it.
All right. Well, I wish Mike was here because this is the argument I have been having with Mike over the last few weeks.
Well, I mean, just because he doesn't agree with it doesn't mean you're right or wrong. I mean,
No, I'm right.
he may not want to give. It could be just a personal vendetta. He's like, I'm not going to give you your pick.
It's
I mean,
my
it could be
pick.
that simple.
Give me my pick back. And I explained to him that the pick is 106. I'm giving him a discount. I think he's worth the 106 plus a second.
So one crazy thing about Jacobs,
We're like the 104 or 5, really.
they structured. He got a 4-year deal, but the way they structured his deal, they technically have an out after this year.
Why would they do that?
I mean, that's a great question. As good as he's
Out is-
been,
The out was in case they sign him and he sucks.
Yeah, there's no way they take an out on his contract. I mean, I'm looking over his stats right now. He's playing a lot better than I thought he was.
He's a monster.
I mean, I knew he was playing well. Like I knew he was going off this season, but man, you like go over the numbers. Yeah,
They
that's wild.
they don't give anyone else a series or anything like that. They'll take him out to spell him a bit, but he's the guy.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, if he keeps this going through the rest of the year, these last several games here, I mean, it's a pretty incredible comeback from where he was at the end of last season.
All right, so we're in a Devy league. I'm going to offer you who's your RB2 in the rookie draft? Judkins?
nah.
Hampton?
mean, you can say Hampton or Caleb Johnson.
Okay. Omarion Hampton in a second, or Josh Jacobs.
I mean,
Depends on the
obviously, it's
team
so
and
roster
the draft
dependent.
capital.
Yeah, it's so roster dependent for me. But
All right, so
I
I'm
mean,
off. You have
Hampton's extremely interesting. He is going to be a good NFL back.
yeah.
So if my roster is not to the point where Jacobs is helping me this year or next, well, then I'm gonna take the young guy and hope I get the top 5 dynasty RB.
Yeah, so I mean, I get that. If you're out of the playoffs, say team 10, 11, 12, I think that's a fair offer. I think it's good for both teams. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. I probably wouldn't want to pay the second with it. If I know he's getting Hampton, I mean,
So head up those two players. If you're asking me, do I want 2 to 4 years of Jacobs or whatever that guy will be, wherever he will land, whatever will happen, or we'll even call it 105, whatever that player will be, I will take the guaranteed stud that was RB3 2 years ago and is on a much better team and playing every bit of that ability. I'll take that player 10 times out of 10 over a rookie. Any rookie. Well, maybe not Genty. That's a different story.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I like Judkins better than Hampton, but
Okay. That's fine. That's not the
yeah,
argument.
that, of course.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, even if I substitute Judkins in there and for just a hypothetical situation, it's all just dependent on the landing spot and draft capital for me. So it's like you can say now, yeah, like 106 in a second for Jacobs, but in reality, when draft comes around, like that may be a trade you're really sitting here regretting.
Absolutely.
I
I think more likely than not, you're going to regret that.
I think out of all these players that we've talked about, he's the most likely to win it for you.
Oh, you didn't let me go, so that's about to change.
Okay. I mean, up to this point. What do you got, Austin?
I told you mine was expensive. I've been working really hard, so Santa is gonna be
Saquon Barkley.
That's exactly where I'm going.
Wow. Woo!
Now I have 2 other names because I figured y'all would bash this.
I can't bash him. He's my favorite person.
Because very likely somebody who has him is a contender.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I have these other names available. But like I'm willing to pay 2 first. One can be mid. I'm willing to pay Devonta Smith in a first. Willing to pay T Higgins in a first. Willing to pay DK in a first. I'm willing to pay to get them. But
So
it
you got to
obviously
pay more than
depends.
that.
Wow,
I
really?
checked before. DTC and KTC said those were either fair or overpays.
Yeah,
think
but I
they
think you
sound
still got to
fair.
pay more than that.
It's going to depend on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I think I'm just saying, like, the vast majority of circumstances, like at this point of the season, like you are paying to get. I mean, he's RB1, and it's not really like.
Oh, just wait till after this week. He might probably break the rushing record. So
Yeah,
I think they might not play him in the fourth quarter, though.
they probably won't have to.
You guys, that's what
But
I'm
he'll probably
saying.
already have 270 yards. So
You guys got to keep
Yeah.
up with us for that to happen.
yeah, I'm not going to take the bashing on this episode. We can save that for next week when y'all beat us by 30. Doing it before is not going to happen. The way
Austin,
we
I
played
don't
this
talk-
past month.
I don't talk shit afterwards. That's too easy.
No, we ain't doing it before because the way we played this past month, I'll defend myself. But my other name that is considerably cheaper and possibly more attainable is Joe Mixon.
yeah, I like that.
I'll pay my 25 first for him. Probably not going to pay much else.
It'll
but-
take that though.
Yeah, absolutely. And it
Any
should.
mixture of like seconds or whatever isn't.
Yeah, that shouldn't be enough. But all
I
this
think-
talk about Jacobs and Mixon's been the better guy this year.
Yeah, I hear
Dude
you.
has been a stud.
I mean, Jacobs is 3 years younger, right? Nixon's 29.
28, just turned 28.
Okay, 2 years younger. But that could be,
Yeah,
2
I mean,
years.
you're talking a
years
season or
production
two
is a
difference
lot.
for
Yeah.
sure. But he's tied there. They don't have an out. He's at least there one more year.
Mhm.
and he's been the guy. It's just plain and simple. He has willed that team when they do win. He's willed them to wins. It has not been the quarterback play. It has not been anything else. It's been Joe Mixon.
Finally see him behind a good offensive line.
Yep. Now, all the shit talking all these years, people, the analytics guys talking about how terrible he was. Maybe it wasn't him.
I never thought that at all.
Yeah.
I've always told you guys that he's a great running back.
Yep. So that's
Yeah, you have
him.
always said that.
I have always since the day I was born.
Always.
Yep. Since the dawn of time.
One more guy, just because I'm just feeling generous. Santa's been really nice to me.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
This is the better Tyrone Tracy.
Okay.
And that's Bucky Irving.
Good
Has
luck.
an absolute cake schedule. I mean,
Good.
absolute cake. I'll pay a first and a second. I'll pay my contender first and second for him.
So this is like you saved somebody's life in December, and Santa's gonna bring you this gift. Basically, that's
Yeah,
what. Like this is the only.
I'm
This
paying
is the
for him.
only circumstance. Like someone fell through the ice, you dove in after him, like swam down 20 yards under the water, pulled him out, swam back to shore, and now you get Bucky Irving. That's the only way.
Look, I tried to precursor. I've been busy. I don't know what else to tell you.
No, but seriously, well, I do want to talk about his value because that came up in Patreon chat today as well. It's up there.
Yeah, he's expensive, no doubt.
I mean,
He's
I
an
think someone
RB1 for
said,
me.
yeah, Rich Dotson
I
has
agree.
him as his Dynasty RB6.
I think he's
That's
not
a
the
little
only
rich for
one.
me, but
I agree with
Well,
that
rich
as well.
for me
But
but he is an RB1. He's a Dynasty
yeah, he's an
RB1.
RB1 for sure.
What's that cost? More than a first and a second. Like, if you offer me your contender first and second, I'm good. I'll keep Bucky. They have a lot of needs, like old ass wide receivers. The receivers they've taken haven't been good. Their defense is old as shit, and not like their secondary is not good. What?
Oh, that's why I believe he's going to stick. That's why I said it's the
Yeah.
better Tracy.
I mean, their backfield next year is going to be the same as it is this year, and Bucky is by far the most talented out of all three of those guys. And I love Sean Tucker, and Bucky is just better.
Yep.
And to me, Rashad White's the third. I mean, I don't know if they see it that way, but you know, Sean Tucker's like my nephew.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that name up. If you can get him, I actually tried CMC straight up for him. Guy said he couldn't do it. Yeah.
Wow.
I declined it too.
I think. Oof, wow.
So I tried. I thought it was a very valiant offer.
There's just no point in doing that right now.
Bucky or Kyron?
Kyron
for me. Where's
But
the cutoff?
it's just the situation with CMC, right? Like if CMC is not getting any points, you go into the offseason.
Well, that's perfect for a max PF team. It's one more week and no points. But
yeah, but I mean, I don't know, just to move up a spot or two in best case scenario, right? Because there's only a few weeks left.
Yeah, I mean, that can be worth gold, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, going from 103 to 102 is worth a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I agree with you. But to me, I also feel Irving is safe. That's why I wanted to make this trade. But there is the question marks with three what they believe talented running backs. I don't know what's going to happen. Liam Cohen could get hired as a head coach. Whole offense could change again. There's a good chance they lose both receivers this offseason. So there's a lot of question marks in that offense. Whereas
crazy.
CMC, outside of health, he's going to be the guy in a Shanahan offense. So that's kind of my thought of what the trade would be is come week 1 in August, CMC is going to be worth considerably more than he is right now.
All right, let's run through tight ends real quick. I'm going to throw mine out. It's Jonnu Smith. I think he's got 300-yard games in a row. For what you'll have to pay, easily get him for a second, right?
Yeah, that's what he should be.
Give me him all day long. I love starting him. And if it's a 0.5 premium, if it's a tough week like this week, I'd love to start him as a flex. I think I do have him in his couple flex spots.
Yeah, I'm a little worried the slipper falls off and the offense gets more towards what we saw towards the beginning of the season where they were featuring the receivers more. That being said, you kind of just got to ride it right now. I mean, he's been pretty ridiculous.
This is a common discussion that I've seen. Do we all owe Arthur Smith an apology for using Jonnu more than Pitts?
No, because he also used Algier more than Bijan, so he doesn't.
And he
get a
also didn't
pass.
use he also didn't use Pitts as a tight end.
Yeah.
So
No, he does not deserve any pass.
all right, who you got? Austin.
I'm expensive again. Could you guess? I'm going for Trey McBride, and I'm willing to throw a first on any tight end not named Brock Bowers.
Jesus. All right. So
Santa's
Laporta,
bankrupt, Austin.
yeah, right.
Hey, man. Well, hey.
Only going to Austin's
But
house.
my point is if I'm going to spend the money, I mean, Jonnu Smith's cool, but I'm going to throw away a second most likely. I have another name because, again, I figured y'all would talk junk about it. So I'll wait sure Chad doesn't say it, and I'll wait till that. But my point of this bringing him up is if it's not Bowers or McBride, I don't really care.
Mm.
That's kind of my thing. Like, I'll pay Laporta in my playoff first for him.
No. I don't.
Yep.
No, thank you. Because I'm in this. I feel the same way. Or
Oh, that's
Kittle.
fine.
Kittle's the only other one that gets my attention.
Yeah, but then I'm not having to hunt for a tight end if I have
Right.
Kittle.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But that was kind of my point is I'll pay pretty much whatever plus the tight end to get him because he's one of the few difference makers. I mean, he's currently wide receiver 3 in leagues with 0 touchdowns. And 0.5 premium, he is wide receiver 3.
That's crazy.
It's absurd. So it just give him 2 or 3 touchdowns to finish the season off, and you're likely seeing league winner status.
It's really weird. It's like Deontay Johnson weird that he has
Yeah.
no touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's most likely a way less annoying person though.
I hope so, at least.
You got a tight end, Chad.
Yeah, I'm not quite going like league winner with this guy. I mean, not even close. Just because I think with tight end, unless you do what Austin did, go for like one of the top guys, you're really not getting a league winner. But I'm gonna go Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he consistently proves me wrong since I was off him 2 years ago. So
yeah, I mean, all he's done since week 7 is get 8 or 9 targets a game.
Yeah,
that's literally all he's done. So
and
I mean,
that's
a nice safe floor.
And I really believe it because Drake May is for real. I'm here to tell you
he is.
Drake May, I don't know if you watched any of his last game, but he was on point. I didn't see one like bad throw. He's just really good and he sees it already, knows when to pull it down and run. Man, I think we're gonna do a rookie redraft next time we get the 4 of us on together, but
So in the off season.
I mean, he might be like my 102.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I do have one more tight end league winner.
Okay.
David Njoku.
Yeah.
The
obviously.
dude is just getting funneled targets. Like they're basically just handing them off to him. They just count as a target.
2 seconds fair for him.
That's what I put as my price point. 25, 26 second.
Yeah.
Minus the snow game, he's had 7 targets every game, 12 points or better every game, including 4 above 20 and 2 above 30, with one being 29.8. So basically 3 above 30 since he came back.
Yeah, he's been lighting it up.
Yeah.
Isn't it so funny? Like for a tight end, all you have to do to be a tight end 1 is get like 5 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown.
Oh yeah.
You don't need it. You don't need the touchdown.
That's good. Like
Yeah.
that's
you don't
good.
really need the touchdown.
You're doing great if that's your stat line, which is
Yep.
crazy to me.
5 for 6. I'm getting 13 points out of my tight end. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was so
That's why-
hard, like thinking of league winner. I was like going through all the tight ends. I'm like, realistically, you're just not getting one.
I went for like the cheapest guy that has been scoring points.
Yeah.
All right.
Njoku's
That's our-
nice though. I like that schedule coming up. That's a good one.
That's our letters to Santa, y'all. Those are the players that are going to bring us championships. Let's real quick before we sign off. We're a little bit long, but I want to go over some holiday traditions. It can be either something that's specific to your family or something that everybody does, but just some things that are like your favorite things about the holidays. Could be any holiday, could even be New Year's Eve. Austin, do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah, I'll go. I'll do 2 quick ones. One, our family, we always play this game. So you put on oven mitts and saran wrap, like I'm talking, it's a lot of saran wrap, a ball like this big. So you make a ball and you put gifts in it. There'll be lottery tickets, the $50 bill, gift cards, gum, candies, and you have to use your hand with the oven mitts to peel it off. Well, the person behind you has a dice, and until they spin the dice, and when it lands on a 6, that's when it goes to the next person. But everything you unravel, you get while they're trying to roll a 6.
Oh, wow.
It is a ton of fun. It is chaos.
That is really cool.
I'm talking chaos. But it's a blast, man. Sometimes you'll get the thing just rolling, and then sometimes you'll spend the whole time just trying to get it to start. So, like, being competitive, man, you'd be yelling and cussing. Like, we're all big sports fans, so like it's a mess, and there's obviously alcohol involved.
We'll have to.
Fun.
I'll have to text you offline for specifics.
Okay.
I might want to
Yeah.
bring this to my wife's
it's-
family. Is real fun. They like to do a lot. They play a
it's
lot
a
of games
blast.
and stuff. Cool.
That's awesome.
And did you have another one?
Yeah, go ahead. I was too long. I was trying to be short, and I was.
That one was great. It's gonna be hard to beat. How about you, Chad?
No, that one is really, really good. I'm going to Austin's place for Christmas.
Yeah,
apparently.
same.
Come on, we got room.
Yeah. No, so mine's a little bit more boring, but it starts from the beginning of November, goes all the way to the end of Christmas. We watch Christmas Story like a million times. Just
Nice.
yeah. Weekly. So it's been
That's
a
big in
tradition
my
since I was a little kid. Yeah, so something that we always do.
Yeah, my lady would see. So you're going to come to my house. My lady would just go over there. That she watches it nonstop this month.
Yeah, for what is it all 24 hours on Christmas Eve?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all that plays in my house. For me, it's Christmas morning at my father's house. He doesn't cook much, but one thing he does really well is breakfast. And a tradition in my family in the area I'm from, South Jersey, Pennsylvania area, is scrapple. And my dad fries up the best crispy on the outside scrapple. And I love it. I know a lot of people don't like it. I understand it's made out of the waste parts and sawdust and whatever else. I don't care. It's delicious.
What?
I don't know what we're talking about.
I have
Scrapple?
I've never even heard of it.
Scrapple. Okay. So it's
Well, I
like,
don't eat waste parts or sawdust. So
it's sort of like,
Is it actual?
no, that's just what people say.
Oh.
It's like sausage, but it's uncased. So
Just
it's
ground
very hard
beef
to
and pork.
explain.
so it's the peckers and lips is what you're telling me.
Yeah, it's got a lot of black pepper. It's delicious. If you are from Pennsylvania or New Jersey area, you know what it is. And a lot of people in Maryland as well. It's delicious, and it's the only time of year that I eat it. It's really bad for you. So it's just a delicious tradition. I actually got my wife to try it after saying she never would. And she said it's good. It's not for her. She won't have it again, but she ate the whole piece. So
Is it like pan fried or like what?
yeah. Just
Okay.
fry it crispy in a
Is
pan.
it just meat, or like do you put more stuff in it, or?
No, it's just meat. Have you ever seen liver pudding? Do you know how
I've
that
seen
looks?
it. I'm never going to eat it, but I've
No,
seen
I
it.
would never eat it either. It's disgusting, but it looks kind of the same. It comes in like a block, and you cut off pieces and you fry those. And it's just a delicious black peppery kind of sausage, like almost breakfast sausage, but different.
Yeah,
Okay.
won't be able to eat it. We'll be wearing the oven mitts.
Yeah,
Trying to
exactly.
unwrap this around. Got my excuse planned out. No, it sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's different. You have to have it done right. If it's not crispy, then it's
Yeah.
not worth eating.
I think the sawdust is throwing me off.
It was a joke. There's not really sawdust in it. People make fun of it because it's like hot dogs or sausage. It's lips and assholes.
Yeah, hot dogs are great, man.
Yeah, I hear you. I like hot dogs. All right, y'all. So it was a lot of fun tonight. I promised myself I wasn't going to close the episodes like this anymore. So you got anything else?
No, go Panthers. I got that one for you,
Okay.
especially
Go
to you.
Go Birds. And this has been War Games. Front office.